Center does have our far northwestern counties under a marginal risk. So that's a level 1 on a 1 to 5 scale for any thunderstorm to reach severe criteria. If we do, I do think that it's going to cover right now. So far, it's calm and peaceful in terms of shower and storm activity, but we do have winds picking up for us here. Temperatures in the 70s right now, 72 in Nashville, Lebanon, 70 degrees, Cookeville, 67 degrees. There's our flag waving over downtown. Wind gusts have been cranking. We're already at 32-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Nashville, Clarksville, 29 miles per hour, and I only expect these to go up to 40 miles per hour going into the overnight and early morning hours tomorrow. Temperatures tonight significantly cooler compared to what we woke up to this morning. Winter air finally returns. We're talking sub-freezing 20s to low 30s when you wake up tomorrow. So daytime highs tomorrow, 35 degrees, plus those winds will make that 35 feel much cooler. That winter air is back for at least a couple of days, and we'll be back to average by Wednesday. And we start our first day of the new year in the lower 50s. So as far as rain, tonight is the rainy day of the work week. I'm going to time out the storm timing coming up in just a little bit. Kenley?
Thanks.
In fact, we are under a wind advisory. So let's get right to it and show you pretty much all of Middle Tennessee under this wind advisory in effect until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So what this means, winds are gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. So even before and after the main line of storms that will push through, winds will be gusty. So anything outside, any decorations that you haven't brought inside, you might want to do that because they could be blown around. Another thing to point out here is the Storm Prediction Center has our far northwestern counties under a marginal risk. So it's really areas further north of us. So Indiana as well as Illinois under the slight risk. It's a level 2 on a 1 to 5 scale for any storm to reach severe criteria. So as of now, it's really Clarksville area, Hopkinsville area where you are under that marginal risk. So the greatest threats with some of these stronger storms will be wind, damaging wind, and as well as heavy downpours. Hail and tornadoes, not as much of a threat with this. I did want to point out we hit a high of 75 degrees in Nashville today. So we have officially tied the record high in Nashville, which was set back in 1874. It's been unbelievably warm, 25 degrees warmer than average for this time of year. A thick deck of cloud cover behind me here from our Bart Durham injury lock camera over downtown Nashville. 72 degrees, still very warm out there and very windy out there. I'll share a wind gust map in just a moment here. Temperatures in the 60s to low 70s. Clarksville 72, Dixon 69, Shelbyville 68. Nashville 72, Lebanon 70, and Cookeville 67 degrees. So here are the current wind gusts. The direction is pulling in those warm temperatures, but we are gusty. This is ahead of the cold front. 32 miles per hour in Nashville, 23 in Murfreesboro, Portland up to 25 miles per hour, Dixon 29, and I'm expecting these numbers to go up going into the overnight and very early morning hours tomorrow. So just a heads up for you there. Here's how our radar looks right now. Not a whole lot in Middle Tennessee. In fact, it's really well to the north and west of us. You can see over Carbondale, they have severe thunderstorm warnings there. In fact, as I zoom out, Indiana, Illinois, numerous severe thunderstorm warnings here. And I just, if I can see clearly here, a tornado warning as well. This is the cold front responsible. This will continue pushing towards the east, and that will give us some shower and storm chances here as well as soon as tonight. So let's map out the timing. This is 7 p.m. tonight. A few showers ahead of the main line possible. Here's the actual main line. We go to 10 o'clock. That's when I think it'll be in the heart of Nashville. This is not a significant severe weather situation. We could have an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm or two. I think heavy rain and damaging wind will be the greatest threats with some of those isolated stronger storms, if you will. We get to 11, 12 o'clock, the bulk of the moisture off towards the east over the Cumberland Plateau, Jamestown south into Crossville. Behind that, just rain. And behind that, even when all is said and done, we're talking about lots of wind to start off your Monday. In fact, this is our future wind gust map. Winds out of the north and the west up to 30 to 40 miles per hour overnight into early Monday morning, 25, 30, even 40 miles per hour. And then we'll still be breezy all day, but I don't think we'll be in the 40-mile-per-hour wind gust zone at that point, because that wind advisory does expire at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Temperatures, it's a rude awakening, my friends. Very cold start to our Monday, sub-freezing in the 20s to low 30s when you wake up. Let's talk about daytime highs. We're not getting out of the mid-30s for our high tomorrow. That's not the low. That's the daytime high. Then you factor in those winds, it will feel even downpours. It's really not one of those electric storms, but it has heavy rain and wind. Wind is the primary threat. This all has to do with the cold front. This is going to continue pushing towards the south and the east at about 35 miles per hour. So I do want to give you a heads up. Downtown Nashville, 10:09. It'll be at your doorstep. Woodbine, 10:15. Mount Juliet, 10:24. Antioch, 10:28. And Laverne will be knocking on your doorstep at 10:34. Now, that's our only warning as of now, and this is the main line pushing through the heart of Middle Tennessee as we speak here. So Bowling Green south into Portland, Gallatin, just headed towards Columbia. It's moving in a southeasterly direction. Fairview just headed towards Franklin. Some heavy rain for you there. Brentwood, it'll be knocking on your doorstep, some heavy rain. Bellevue on top of you right now. Areas to the south. Hohenwald, you just got a heavier downpour. This will continue pushing towards the south and the east, headed towards Scottsville, as well as Tracy. Some heavy rain here. So this cold front is in the midst of moving towards the east. It's a quick moving cold front. It will be out the door very quickly as soon as the next few hours or so. Wind advisory. This is really the main impact from this cold front. Winds up to 40 miles per hour will continue even after the storm line pushes through. So until 6 a.m., we have wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Any items outside that are not secure can be blown around, as well as tree limbs. We could have some power outages as well. Temperatures right now in the 60s to low 70s. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be in the 20s to low 30s. I'm going to break down the storm timeline coming up and your work week forecast coming up in just a bit. Kenley?
Thanks so much about that storm. And it just hit the studio just a second ago. You could hear the wind and the rain hitting the studio and how intense it was.
That's right. Grace is like, do you all hear that? We heard it.
Yeah.
We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. So let's get right to it. I do want to track this for you. So it's in effect until 10:30. This includes Davidson, Sumner, and Wilson counties. Now, winds, they're up there. 60-mile-per-hour winds as we speak, even some small hail. Now, this is moving rather quickly. It's pushing towards the south and the east at about 35 miles per hour. Just about to get into Mount Juliet. A heads up for you there at 10:20. Mount Juliet, 10:22. Smith Springs, 10:25 at Martha. So just a heads up, Lebanon, 10:37, and it'll be knocking on your doorstep. Now, that's the only severe thunderstorm warning as of now, as this cold front continues pushing towards the south and the east. You can see the main line here extending from Bowling Green south, including Gallatin, downtown Nashville pushing towards you, Columbia just getting into your neck of the woods. Notice the motion moving towards the south and the east. Spring Hill right now just dumping heavy rain over Franklin, Brentwood, Antioch, about to be knocking on your door there. Also for our southern counties here, you can see just headed towards Lawrenceburg, probably within the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. And then if we head further towards the north, you can see it's just real slim line here with heavy rain, gusty winds. Those are the main threats with these storms tonight. And it's really going to be out of here within the next few hours or so. So that is the good news. It's fast moving, gusty wind, and heavy rain are the greatest threats with those storms tonight. Now, even outside of these thunderstorms, winds are gusting. We're talking 40-mile-per-hour winds before and after this cold front. So this wind advisory remains in effect for all of Middle Tennessee as well as Kentucky, in effect until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. When you wake up, it's going to be windy, it's going to be cold, and very cold. Not like today. In fact, today we tied the record high in Nashville, 75 degrees. We were 25 degrees above average, so we tied the record. That 75 was back in 1874. Okay, so we can literally draw a line of where this cold front is here. If you're in the 70s, you are still on the east side of this cold front. If you're in the 50s, Hopkinsville, Clarksville, you are officially, that cold front has pushed through, and you're actually in the clear with those thunderstorms tonight. Here's the winds. We're up to 38 miles per hour in Columbia, 36 in Dixon, 40 miles per hour in Camden, and that will carry on through the overnight hours. The actual cold front is right here. It will continue pushing towards the south and the east, and the winds will be cranking even when this pushes through here. So we get to midnight tonight, bulk of the heavy rain and the stronger storms, if you will be along towards the east, pushing out of here. So Jamestown, Cookeville, Crossville, McMinnville. After that point, just plain old rain and wind. You can see lots of rain, 2 a.m. At this point, Hopkinsville, Clarksville, and Paris, you are in the clear. We get to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'm expecting the rain to be out of here. We'll have some nice sunshine to wake up to, and it will be very cold. I do think our far northern counties, so Kentucky, Tennessee border, will cling a little bit stronger to the cloud cover, but areas to the south will have a nice little break in the clouds. Now let's talk about winds, because though we're going to be dry tomorrow, those winds carry on. 8 a.m. this time from the north. So today was from the south. That pulled in the tide record warmth. Tomorrow out of the north, pulling in much cooler air, 30 mile per hour.
Who says new regulations will help keep people safe. News 2 at 10 starts right now.
Top stories and tomorrow's forecast in the first 5 minutes. This is News 2 Now at 10.
And this is a live look right now at Dixon, which is seeing some of that gusty weather we've been talking about today. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 10. I'm Kinley Hargett, joined by meteorologist Daphne D. And Daphne, right now we are staying weather alert because serious wind and even thunderstorms.
We do. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. So let's get right to it. I want to track it, show you where the severe thunderstorm warning is right now over Davidson, Robertson, Sumner, and Wilson counties. Now, this particular storm has 60 mile per hour winds, even some small hail. Now, this is moving. It's right now on top of Goodlettsville. You can see just heavy downpours. It's really not one of those electric storms, but it has heavy rain and wind. Wind is the primary threat. This all has to do with the cold front. This is going to continue pushing towards the south and the east at about 35 miles per hour. So I do want to give you a heads up. Downtown Nashville, 1009. It'll be at your doorstep. Woodbine, 1015. Mount Juliet, 1024. Antioch, 1028. And Laverne will be knocking on your doorstep at 1034. Now, that's our only warning as of now. And this is the main line pushing through the heart of Middle Tennessee as we